And thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari, and my guests today are Mr. Femi Aino. Mr. Femi Aino is a lawyer, international lawyer, in fact, but these days he's more plentiful at home. In particular, he has interest in Ogun West, where he is indeed, as we speak, a senatorial aspirant. The whole matter of under which platform, that is still a matter under consideration.
Well, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Okay, have it your way.
As time goes by.
Have it your way.
Your screen.
Have it your way. As I remember it, you won't deny anybody that says you are close to, former President Obasanjo. You won't be denying anybody.
You can read my lips.
Okay, so we'll wait to see where that whole thing comes out. And our dear friend, Chief Dr. Fasi A. Yusuf. I've never asked for the A. It doesn't matter for the moment. Dr. Fasi Yusuf is how he's very well known. He's a lawyer and, of course, a public relations analyst. Thank you very much, Fasi.
Thank you very much, Public Affairs.
Public affairs. It's that season. The 2019 elections are around the corner. All sorts of things are, shall we say preparation is in high gear. The cynics have said that, well, part of it is the whole MKO Abiola thing. Cynics, as I said. There's this whole matter of, and by the way, the sort of good news that the federal government is now thinking about, has planned and is about to execute the whole a new ranching policy across the land. Hopefully this will lower the tension as we change from herdsmen going up and down the country to having, their sort of designated areas. Now, all of this, no doubt, will also help with stability and security. But apart from those, Fasi, when you look at it, the 2019 elections are just around the corner, relatively speaking. Are you satisfied that we're on course? We do indeed seem like a nation headed for a major election.
Well, I have no reason to doubt the preparation, and I have no reason to be optimistic. We can only rely on what we are told, and if antecedents are anything to go by, we want to believe that, we have a way of managing crisis, managing a situation. At the end of the day, we'll get there. We must have election next year.
Oh, dear.
And therefore, whatever it's going to take, I believe that those saddled with that responsibility will discharge the responsibility, because it is a statutory thing, it's a constitutional thing, so it must be done.
It must be done.
One way or the other.
We know.
Notwithstanding, I think last week they said there was a garnishing order against the Independent National Electoral Commission. Yes, about this bedding Holdings Limited.
Please, for the purpose of for the advantage of non-lawyers among the viewers, what is a garnishing order?
It's an order, placing embargo on the funds of an organization based on, judgment of pronouncement. So it can be released. The court can, at the end of the day, look, take the money that has been said to be paid to a particular creditor, judgment creditor, from the debtor's account. So at the end of the day, the balance is left. If it's not enough, they can still attach some other items like vehicles, houses and what have you.
Yes. Swinging to you, Femi, the way we practice politics here, of course, it's probably like it's done just about anywhere. But one recurring decimal has always been how our political system seems to flout regulations about money in politics. One, how much you can spend. Two, how much you can donate. And those things are always secret. Do you think there's any reason to suspect that there will be a change as we go along? Because it's all about doing the right thing. I don't know if we are actually doing the right thing. We spend money way beyond the regulated limits, and everybody is looking away.
Yeah, and that's not good enough. It's not good for our democracy. It's not good for our country. Because if the money back gets to power, what are they going to do in the long run? They would like to make more money, because some of these people, that has been their way of life, making money day in, day out. So And the way it works is this. If you spend your life savings in order to get to power, when you get to power, what are you going to do? Well, your first priority will probably be to recoup that amount of money back. And how do we solve this problem? Do we fund political parties? Do we fund individuals when they have shown an interest? Will that alleviate the problem? That is something we can argue that from now to the end of the art. But the sub-point to that main point is the fact that are we in a society where even some of the electorates, they don't have opportunity. When you don't give your citizens of opportunity, the moment the thieves come and dish out the money, they will grab it. But if they have that opportunity, it may well be some of them will be able to say no. And the level of depravity in this country, with people coming out of university not getting a job, with those who are working, are people, even though they get salary, you can even classify them as what you call working poor. Because the moment they get the salary, they pay their children's school fees and everything. There is nothing left. Now, so these people, this class, we have that sort of temptation to take money from politicians one way or the other. And I must tell you, now, if you go on the feed and you are campaigning for votes, let me tell you, you can even talk from January to December. Some of the electorates are not, some of them at the audience are not ready to listen. But the moment they see you trying to put your hand in your pocket,
then they know you're serious.
That
yes, this is a serious politician.
Because that is what they are waiting for. And
this is part of the challenge, Fassi, because as he was saying what he was saying, I was wondering, as probably most everybody would, that look, we know that what Mr. Aino is saying is right, but isn't it idealistic? Because it's not just the politicians. He ended with the fact that we, the electorate, have come to gauge our understanding of who is a serious politician and who is not a serious candidate by how generous they can be. I wonder if this, you lawyers talk about bad laws, laws that cannot be obeyed, but nevertheless you keep them in there. Do you think this provision in Nigeria of our current period, where there are regulations as to how much can be spent, is not just written for the sake of writing it?
Well, I think fundamentally it should be said that we don't keep records in this country. So it's pretty difficult to keep track of what anybody is spending, unless those that the expenses that go through the banks. But where you disburse, I mean, invisible things and all the rest, they don't keep track of all that. So it's pretty difficult, and it's still going to be difficult because we are not a cashless society. We are not there yet. And therefore, most of our transactions are done behind the counter. So it's going to be pretty difficult. And somebody bringing out 500,000, 1 million and all the rest. I see, it's only in Nigeria that you see people being bribed, and all the rest. Because the electorate, everybody is greedy. I mean, nearly everybody is greedy in this country. And
the politicians are keying into that.
The electorates want to take something from you because they know when you get there, you're going to make some money. Whether true or right.
You see, this whole equation is getting more and more depressing because you're very, very right. Because people think that when you get there, you're going to be making money.
And you may not even remember them.
Which is not even the purpose of governance or politics.
But the unfortunate thing is that how could somebody, because of 2,000 naira, 1,000 naira, the other time I saw a serving senator sharing a little rice and a 500 naira or 1,000 naira. What does that do to a people? What does that do to a people? I mean, you are debasing human beings, giving them 500 naira to do what?
But I would argue, Fassi, that these politicians are expert at
mind reading,
at understanding their people, at knowing their people.
Negative understanding.
I'm afraid it is what it is.
It is not positive.
And it looks like we're not really ready to confront it. Because when you say it's difficult, when you say it's difficult to really ascertain what anybody is spending, maybe it's because it's not a criminal matter. Because between INEC and the EFCC and all the security agencies, if indeed they wanted to work overtime on that particular subject, they might not be able to eradicate it, but they certainly would dent the problem.
But again, don't you have more fundamental things to look at than somebody spending his money, unless you can trace. For example, the last I read from EFCC is that they are keeping track of the expenditures of politicians and political parties. Yes, well, that's good. I mean, that's the normal thing. But can they really do it? Can they get it done? How can they really monitor what is being spent by anybody in this country? It is only those funds that are going in through the bank, coming out through the bank, that you can monitor. Anything outside, many people will do teachers, many people will get you vehicles, many people will get you, mobilize people for you.
All of which is done publicly.
Yeah, but then how do you know the money, where the money is coming from?
Okay. I hear you, and I don't want to belabor the point, but take America, for example, Femi. I was going to say, look, the way you behave,
America,
you
Britain,
attract the attention of the inland revenue guys.
America, Britain, France,
yes.
Canada,
yes.
These are the Eldorados. But even at that, it was difficult for the revenue service in America to keep track of what Trump spent. And the issues are still coming up 2 years after the election.
And you know why this is important, Femi? Why I think it is important is that we talk about democracy being one man, one vote, and we're striving towards a level playing field.
Jesus said and achieved.
Thank you, and that is the whole problem. We're going to an election. We not necessarily are going to be looking away from these sticky issues and talk about the easier things to talk about, but not these fundamentals where anybody who has an idea, as our people say, can actually present that idea for consideration. Your idea is just rubbish in your pocket if it is not backed by money. You will recall that the late, great Gani Fawemi, who was honored just the other day,
yes.
Remember his experience with his party?
Yes.
And nobody would say in their right mind that Gani Fawemi was going to go there and was going to go and make money. Let us put it like that. His whole campaign was a flop because Gani Fawemi refused to consider, say, look, my blood, my sweat, my tears, I'm ready to spend that. But upon all we've been doing, can't you see who's on your side? It didn't work. So we have a situation where, as we're preparing, we're going. I guess not too many people are going to be talking about this particular aspect because, my friend, can we talk about the real things? This is part of the problem. Yeah. So that whole egalitarian attitude to the polity that we're looking for, where ordinary people with brains, with ideas, with charisma can come and present, they are crowded out by money bags who, quote unquote, might not have as good ideas, but the money will always make them the chief.
All right, so that's why I think it's a loaded point, but I think I got the gist. You see, the issue is this. We need to be very careful. Those ideas you talk about, how many people are ready to listen if you don't back it up with money? And also, my good brother just said something that when you give them 500 and a bag of rice, you are debasing them. Well, for somebody who is very hungry, that's a lot of money. If you give them 500 and a bag of rice, they are even happy, even if it's enforced happiness, because, they are not there. They are just there because they can't just meet their needs.
But see, sorry, sir. Can I interrupt you? I beg your pardon.
Yeah,
the average ordinary Nigerian is not stupid.
Yes, I
That
agree.
much I think I can say with confidence.
But they are gullible.
Now, they know when they can trust a situation. And what Nigerians would appear to be doing is, my guesswork now is that they know there is no sincerity. They know no matter what you say, it's a lie. So when some people now talk about, I am thinking about how you won't need to be beholden to me. I don't want you to come and be doing rankadede for me. I want you too to become a rankadede.
Yes,
so in other words, I'm talking about your future, your children's future. Now, every Nigerian understands that argument and will buy it, but they don't believe it.
Well, they don't believe it because they've been let down by either the leaders or the previous administration. And that can cause, that is the snowball effect. When people are put into position and they fail to discharge their responsibility.
And keep on getting richer and richer while they are failing in their promises.
Of the electorate or what have you. And at the same time, if they promise and they don't deliver, we're going to have that sort of cynicism, if we want to put it that way, where people don't even trust whatever comes out of your mouth. Even if you say good morning, they are ready to look at their watch, whether you are just talking pokies. So we have a lot of problem in this country. But if you go on the field, the point I'm making is this. I've been on the field, and I know that even if you tell them when I become a senator, this is what I'm going to do, all those are academic. That's not what they are ready to listen to. What they are ready to listen to is, look, did he bring something for the chairman or this and that?
Exactly.
And that is when you can get their attention.
Exactly.
And it's either you hold the money in your hand, you take it out of your pocket,
so
you hold it in your hand.
Person?
You hold it in your hand, and then you get the message across. At that moment, they are ready to listen to you because they know that after all said and done, the envelope is going to follow. So they can see that. That's how you can get their attention. But if you go there on the feet and you are telling them, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, they will just tell you it's deja vu. Somebody said that last election. Nothing happened. But you see, it is high time people start looking at other things by not looking at the money. You see, because if you start voting for money, when the 419 or the armed robbers come, what's he going to do? The next thing he's going to do is that because you are voting for money, you will vote him into power. And all of us will suffer for it in the long run. So it is very important. You, the media, you also have a role to play by educating people about the need to vote for people who will give them a voice.
Is the media itself blameless in this topic we're talking about?
Well, you know, when in a society where you have a corrupt media, that is very difficult.
I didn't say we have a corrupt media.
Anyway, I know you didn't say that, but I'm saying that because the reason why I'm saying that is that, look, let's look at it in the round, okay? If you are an aspirant or a politician, you want to organize a press conference. Are you telling me you're not going to spend money to either entertain or what?
But many publishers forbid this very thing that you're talking about. Many publishers forbid it.
Yes.
At the pain of, at the danger of actually losing your job. Do you think it has curbed the whole practice?
No. I can tell you it doesn't even curb it at all. Because the reason being, because, you know, I can tell you, look, you can pick as many newspapers as you like and say our ethical this is that. You see, you have this is what you call pack of the cigarette policy. You can say you have it. Is that policy working in practice? Because at the end of the day, if a journalist is working for a newspaper and they haven't paid for 5 months and you want to address a press conference and they will come there, you think they're going to leave without getting something? Otherwise, you won't get your story out. So, you see, this is the problem we have. And let us be critical about this. But this, sorry, Mr. Yori, let me just tell you, this 2019 election, it's not going to be a walk in the park for some. And those who think, okay, if I throw money, I will get, because the electorates are even irrespective of some of the issues you identify, which I agree with, some of them are getting more informed because they've been betrayed, they've been let down, promises have been made, and promises have been so they've been broken. So when you look at all this in the round, people are going to ask questions. And the fundamental questions that will determine this 2019 election, one of the issues you mentioned it at your opening, the issue of security, and at the same time, there will be one question that, anyway, we voted you in 4 years ago. Are we really better off?
Okay, I would like to say that with great respect that I hope you're not overly optimistic, because let me go back to the whole Gani Fawehinmi matter. Look, Gani Fawehinmi was as transparent as you could possibly want when it came to matters of morals. And we loved him, we hailed him. But when it came to voting for him, because he couldn't provide that last notch, we abandoned his project, his party. Those people are still working in his party now. I don't know that they're going to change their attitude. Are you optimistic that anything is going to change, or this same situation, let me not call it a problem, that we have on our hands? The other day I was listening to Patito Gang, and you know, there were a bunch of, you know, the caliber of people on Patito Gang. They were bemoaning this whole problem, that people I'm not saying intellectuals are the only good material, but people who at least have a very, very clear analysis of the problems on ground and how to go about it.
And how to fix them.
And how to fix them without saying that intellectuals are necessarily always the best.
They may not,
you know, that they have analyzed that the playing field isn't level at all.
Honestly.
After all, you can't take these caliber of politicians and substitute them for the university dons, for example, as you might conceivably be able to do at a, at a pinch in some other areas.
As long as this country remains undeveloped, as long as this country remains unenlightened, as long as this country remains unenergized, as long as this country remains the way it is,
yes,
money will still be a factor. The particular gang you're talking about, you remember Pastor himself contested?
Indeed.
Yes. And the late Bridgewaite also contested, nothing. So it's going to people like Balarabe Musa. Same thing.
They saw all those people in these trenches.
See, money is synonymous with Nigerian politics. Money is synonymous with Nigerian politics. Without money,
it's not seen as a life and death matter to be accurate, relatively accurate in who you put in office.
Yes, but the point to be noted here is that there's nothing you can do without money.
Yes. Of course.
Yeah. So
of course.
But you see,
but buy votes.
Nigeria is in a state of confusion. You can imagine what are we going to do with 60, 70, 80 political parties in the name of democracy. And everybody wants to have, at the end of the day, we'll be having up to 1,000 political parties. I cannot even keep track.
I think right now, INEC has 68 on its register. 68. And all of them are going to have to approach the same market.
And again, all these 68 political parties have to be listed. So I do really get to know, apart from the major 3 political parties. So it means we don't really know what we want. We are in a state of confusion. And money, and it's greed.
I would say that
everybody wants to be chairman of a political party.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be a presidential candidate and not.
Yes.
It's only in this part of the world that we see 68 political parties wanting to field candidates.
And when those politicians get into office, of course, all of us, from cousins to close friends to associates, want to file in and get our own dividend of their successful campaign.
See, this is the problem with democracy. It's so expensive, as well as our own brand of democracy. It's the most expensive in the world, and we don't have the resources.
But they said there's no alternative to
There's no
democracy.
alternative, but we can modify it to suit the peculiarity of our situation.
There's no one uniform global democracy.
No. There's a parliamentary system in Britain, and you also have a monarch there, I don't rest, but where we have 3 tiers of government in Nigeria. You have local government, you have state, you have federal, and you also have a federal that the center, it is the most powerful in the whole world, is doing all sorts of things, competing with the states, even competing with local governments.
So we have what we have.
For example, the federal government has no land, yet it's building houses.
Yes.
And all the rest. The federal government, education. They even run primary school education.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, and good morning to the guests.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, with due respect to the gentleman on the right, he seems to be double-speaking. On the one hand, he said, unless you have money, no matter what you say, the electorate will not vote for you. And again, he went ahead to say that principles will demand or will decide which way the elections in 2019 will go. And he enumerated the issues that are likely to determine it. The truth of the matter is that our level of development in enlightenment, political enlightenment, is such that you cannot eradicate the element of money now. What will solve it is, unfortunately, suffering. People will have to suffer the consequences of taking money from politicians at the expense of good governance. they will have to suffer it severely to come to the recognition that, look, we are no longer interested in taking money. We want good governance. Without that, no matter what you say, in practice, what Dr. Yusuf said is what will happen. In practice, it is not possible for you to win an election without spending money for individuals, because people say, yes, you are going to make money. Give us our own before you go. Because that is to say, right now, governance is not about, politics is not about service. It's about going to make money. For as long as that system is still in place, we won't be talking about doing away with money. And as for how much a politician spends for campaign, the same thing goes. You cannot really quantify it because the system is such that it is not self-accounting. You spend 10 million and you say it's 2 million you spent. There is no way to check whether it is actually 2 million you spent or 10 million, unlike other societies where some checks have been put in place. So that's what is going on. Experience would be the best teacher.
Okay.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling in. It goes back to what everybody is saying from home to in the studio here, is that all of this is a function of the level of development of our society and the people that make it up. And I suppose that really is the crux of the matter. Some people who are perhaps cynical have actually charged that politicians know this well and are intentionally keeping our society at a malleable level, rather than massively invest in education, enlightenment, social, civic education. I don't know. The cynics are saying that when a populace is not enlightened, then these kind of challenges, we will continue to grapple with them. But when massively human capital development is seen as an objective, and you can't do this in one term, it must be continuous, then we can begin to think of coming out of the woods. Would you?
You want me to respond?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. You see, I think you are laying too much emphasis on education. Education doesn't mean everything will be fine and dandy or Eldorado.
Of course.
The only thing about education is that once you have it, it helps you to get over life complexities. And it doesn't mean...
It also helps you to be able to think.
Well, it helps... Well, the moment you try to get over life complexity, you are thinking at the same time. So it helps you to think at the same time.
But
it doesn't mean...
You don't put too much stock on education.
Even those who have education, are they not the ones who are corrupt and embezzling money in organizations here and there?
Because so they know they have an uneducated populace.
You see, it's not limited. No. I think it's not limited. You are narrowing the issue. Sorry, Uncle Yuri. I think you are narrowing the issue. It's not limited to that because they have uneducated. It's just because you give them an opportunity and you have a defective procedure, or you have a government or the law and order in your society if it's not working. Politicians all over, they are all the same. Even in United Kingdom, which you mentioned about, you will recall what happened during the MP expenses, whereby MPs are given opportunity that you can claim your expenses back from Parliament. And you see people renting pornographic video and claiming that from the public fund. So, you see, you have a myriad of problem. And I agree, I think maybe your other caller,
Mr. George.
I think he referred to me also. Or maybe
yes,
double speak. To me. Yes, that's fine. I don't want to engage him in any circular argument, but I've taken his point on board. But what I'm going to say is this. You see, if this country is going to move forward, we need to educate our people and let them know that the moment you start voting for money, armed robbers and criminals will get to power. And the people you are sending there, they will like to make their money back. And you mentioned one point that when you get to power, you become a senator, your cousin, your uncle,
yes, all of them all of us will line up.
Well, I agree with you. Don't you know, as I do, that success has parents, poverty is an offer. So if you are successful, definitely people will look out for you. That is the way our system
works.
It works. It's
structured. That's the way
we
it's
have
structured.
This extended family. Okay, maybe I should give way for another
Comrade Tokwe is calling in. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Comrade Tokwe.
Uncle Yori, good morning.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
I want to make my contribution. Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning. We can hear you. Please continue, Uncle Comrade Tokwe.
That the issue of money in Nigerian politics, considering our development, cannot be eradicated at this moment.
Okay.
When the current president, President Buhari, was campaigning, he came out openly that he doesn't have money. But I want to tell you that there are various investors into Nigerian politics. And during the election, we know how much that was spent. You see, when you look at the northern area of Nigeria now, with due respect, compared to the south, there are more allies in the south that can actually see reasons with people that actually want to deliver and save Nigerians from this mess. But when you look at the north, the bulk vote of this country comes from the north. How many people are educated there? How many? So we're talking education, development. Let's be very practical. What is happening in this country? When we keep comparing ourselves with the Western world, it's not easy. America was not built in a day. And chance are enough for them to provide what we need to stop collecting this money. They will not do it. These so-called investors, the appointees, whenever they get into power, they want to reap what they have invested. And by so doing, when another election comes, these same people will equally invest. So a very good example was made on the media houses. There is no journalist that will not take salary for 5 months, and the politician that is very good wants to call a press conference. That will not want to take something from that politician. So it is in every sector of Nigeria.
Okay.
So look at what is happening in Ekiti State. The governor will go to the DT, give them 5 naira. As far as we give you fish today, we not teach you how to fish. And Nigerians are running after him. So it's everywhere. The issue of money has come into Nigerian politics, but with education and better enlightenment, with good media houses, this should be eradicated. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling in. I think my producer wants me to go on a break now, but we'll come back and continue with this contentious subject because it does seem, from what we're hearing, that, look, this whole thing has become a fait accompli. Can we just leave it? We're going to have to live with it, but we shall continue to talk about it. We'll be right back.